right now. Okay, what's up, guys? Welcome to Loc'd. I'm your host, Dr.Goo. I got a special guest with me today. If you guys didn't know, this is a new series called the Subscriber Live, and pretty much I want to bring some of my subscribers on here so they could talk about fragrances and just the enjoyment of the hobby. So I got a special guest with me today. His name is Nebu. What's up, Nebu? How you doing?
What's up, dude? I'm good. I'm good.
So, how did you get into fragrances? Uh, you know,
Okay,
just
it's kind of long. We was just talking about that before we went live, so I'm gonna try to shorten it up as much as I can. But I'm 63, and so I've been wearing fragrances every day since maybe like the 70s. And as far as moving up from the cheapies into the niche realm, I came up from the dirt. I mean, I started out with the Avon fragrances, the Brute fragrances, and stuff like that. And it was years before I got my first fragrance that had an atomizer, man. So all my stuff was splash on. But we're gonna go back though to the beginning. So as far as people that influenced me, as far as my fragrance choices, the only people I saw was like my dad and my uncle. And so I grew up as a child from back in the 60s to the 70s. I graduated high school like in the mid 70s. And the fragrance game wasn't as massively advertised like it is now. Like every time you pick up a magazine, you see some ad for like fragrances. You might see a couple of commercials every now and then on TV, but it wasn't as heavily promoted. It wasn't as heavily promoted back then as it is now. So the fragrances that my dad had, like he only had like one fragrance. He had like
okay.
Old Spice. So we talking about like, and back then it was probably $3, man, for like 100 ml, and it wasn't a atomizer. It wasn't even a splash on. I can't even like the top. It had just a tiny little hole coming out the top of the bottle. It was just like a little plug that fit in there, and you just took the little plug off, and you just like to splash something out. So that's what my dad used. He used Old Spice. That's the only fragrance I ever saw him use was that one
Okay.
bottle of Old Spice. It was the original. It had the like ships on the bottle, like the like Clipper ships, man. So my uncle, his fragrance game was a little bit better, but not much. Now my uncle, he was a lifetime bachelor. I'm talking like Usher say, true player for real. That's how he was, and and he dressed real well. His clothes game was cold, so he gave me a lot of ideas. He gave me a few tips like on how to like put your outfits together and stuff like that. But back when I was in elementary school, he stayed like right up the street from us, and so he would let me and my brother come over on the weekends and clean up, dust off his furniture and stuff. And he would pay us a little pocket money for dusting off his furniture. But sometimes we'd be over there in the evening and he would be getting ready to go out. And so he would say, well, you just hang over here. And then when I finish getting dressed, I'll drop you off at the house. And so we would just be sitting over there. And then he would take me in the bathroom and he would break his little fragrances out. He had, I looked it up on the web and they still make it. It was called Jade East. It was some
Okay.
real cheapies, man. Maybe like he had like 200 mils. One of them was like a lime scent, and another one was like a lemon scent. And then he had like maybe two others. I can't remember what those other ones were, but they was
Okay.
like real cheapies. So that's all I ever saw. Then I knew this other guy that stayed up the street. They had this fragrance. They was pushing this real heavy on the TV back in the
Okay.
60s. It was called High Karate, and they
Hmm.
had like this guy, like just the way they was advertising it was like you're gonna have so many honeys on you that you're gonna have to know some kind of martial arts to like beat them off, man. And so they would have women running up and they would jump in some kind of stance and try to fend off all these females. Yeah, so a lot of dudes in the hood was on that, man, like high karate. So that's all I ever saw,
Okay.
was the JDs, the high karate, and the Old Spice. So when I went into junior high, I started getting fragrances for my birthday and for Christmas. So my grandmother had an Avon account. She used to sell Avon. And so I got a
Okay.
couple of Avon fragrances for my birthday. This was so far back, I can't even remember what type of Avon fragrances they were, but I know they were splashed on because nobody was busting out no atomizers back then, but everybody was rocking splash. So they were splashed on. And I think though I looked on the web or on I looked on Amazon, I think, and Avon still makes fragrances. And I
Okay.
think at this point they have upped their game a little bit to where they got some atomizers, but I think they have a couple of worthy fragrances because I was listening to some YouTube review some guy was doing, and he was saying that they had a couple of heavy hitters now. So I'm gonna try to go on the web, and if I can see, if I can find out where everybody's selling them, I might get one, man, and just like try it out, just to see how their game has evolved, like from the '60s and the
Oh yeah.
'70s. But anyway, so the first, I guess, legit fragrance that I got Brut
Okay.
for a Christmas gift. This was like when I was a senior in high school, and so I kind of would wear the fragrances every now and then, but I wasn't wearing them every day.
Okay.
And to be honest, even when I got that Brut, I knew it wasn't legit. I was like, okay, somebody gave it to me. But I think my cousin gave it to me, and I was just like, yeah, okay, whatever. So I got it, and I wore it a couple of times.
Okay.
So when I got out of high school, we're talking like '77 now. I started working at the refinery, and I started, stacking my paper a little bit. And so I was trying to dress really nice. And so then that's when I first started thinking about, okay, I need to get into a couple of fragrances. But because I only seen my dad and my uncle with those cheapies, non-atomizers, I thought that's the way you should go. So when I first jumped out there, I got that Old Spice that I seen my dad with, man. I got that. That was the first one I had. So then, after I got the Old Spice, the original, they had another one called Old Spice. I think it was called Bitter Lemon or Bitter
Hmm.
Lime, but it still had the clipper ships on the bottle, but the juice was like I think it was Bitter Lime. It was like the green color, and it still had that little peg like little cap, man. That was like
Okay.
that was the cap. So I had that. I had those two. Then the next fragrance I got was they had I don't know if they still have this department store. But back then they had a department store called LS Airs. And they were
Huh.
like a sister store of like Macy's and Carson Perry Scott. But they used to
Okay.
have nice stuff though. And so the way their store was set up, they had all the little cheapy joints like, oh, and I also got that English leather too, man. So
Okay.
all that stuff would be out in the open. You could just go up there and just check it out, and they might even have a couple on display testers that you could. But they was all splash on, so they didn't have no spray testers, but they had some good stuff behind the counter. Like I was saying, they weren't advertising fragrances back then like they do now. So like you go in Macy's now, they got a whole fragrance section with posters and magazine ads and stuff like that. It wasn't like that. They
Yeah.
just had some stuff that was locked up behind the counter. And if you wanted it,
Okay.
you had to ask the associate and they would unlock the counter. I mean the little glass case, excuse
Yeah.
me, and let you see it. Well, for some reason, I never went over there. I just was staying over there with these splash ons like Old Spice and stuff like that. So I guess when Lagerfield came out, they may have been advertising it because it wasn't behind the glass; it was out in the open. I remember I seen that, and it had an atomizer. So
Okay.
I think I sprayed a little bit of it, and I was like, okay, this smells pretty good. So I got that. So that
Okay.
was my first legit fragrance that I had with an atomizer. It was Lagerfield. Okay,
Okay.
so we had a guy that stayed down the street from me. His name was Dave. He used to dress real cool too. We used to call him GQ Dave because he used to dress real nice. So I went down there to his house one day because we used to hang out. And so he walked by and I got some sillage of his fragrance. I was like, yo man, that shit is nice right there, man. What is that? He said, it's that new Dracar, bro. You got to get that, man. Right. So I bid him on that one, man. So it smelled pretty good, right? So I got that Dracar. So now I got okay. And once I got Lagerfield
Okay.
and Dracar, I pretty much just discarded all those splash ons because now I thought I had stepped my foot firmly into the real fragrance game. So I just
Hmm.
got rid of all that other stuff, man. So I got Dracar and I got Lagerfield. So now we're like 85. I went into the Air Force and I
Okay.
went to tech school. My tech school was like 6 months long and it was all the different services. I was a bomb tech. So they just train all the services all at the same time: Air Force, Army, Navy, and Marines. And so at the base exchange store, they used to have all the like top designers, but for some reason I wasn't going over there trying to get any. I had let me back up for a minute. Going back into the '70s.
Okay.
This is why I started wearing fragrances every day. So I was at the oil refinery, and the smell at the oil refinery, it was an outside job, and it was just constant smell of petroleum. That's all you
Okay.
smelled all day. So me and this other dude out there, Gary Willis, we was the youngest dudes that was working out there because they went through this thing where everybody was starting to retire, so they needed to get in some new people. So they started hiring a bunch of people out of high school and stuff like that. But when I
Hmm.
got out there, me and Gary Willis was the two youngest dudes out there. So Gary Willis, he used to wear cologne to work every day. And when I first seen it, I was kind of like low key hating on him, man. Because I used to see him and I used to make fun of him. When I used to see him, I used to look at it and say, my man, sweet smelling Gary Willis. That's what I used to say to him every day. And so I was kind of hating. But then I started thinking about it and I was like, damn, that shit is tight, man. Oh boy out here rocking fragrance every day. Ain't nobody else doing that. So that's when I started wearing it, man, every day when I seen him. So I just wanted to throw that in there. So now we're going to go back to 85.
Okay.
When I was in tech school, they had this dude that was in class with me, and he was a single dude too. And he came in the night class one day. We had to have class. We had to study hall after work. So he was a study hall, and he walked through, man. And I didn't know nothing about sillage back then. I just know I could smell the shit when he walked by. And a couple of people was like, "Damn, Neil, that's nice, man. What you got on, man?" He's like, "Yeah, this." He was like, "Yeah, this is this new." He was just talking real proper. He's like, "Yeah, it's a new fragrance called Chaka, sort of cinnamon, sort of spice." So I was listening to him, right? When that sillage went by and I smelled it, I was like, "Okay, I got to get this right here." So I went up to the base exchange store and they had it. And I think back then you wasn't gonna pay any more than like $50 for 100
Okay.
mil of anything. If you paid like 60 or $70, that was like some real expensive stuff. And I remember that Giacomo, it was like I think it was about 45, something like that for 100 mil.
Okay.
So with the Giacomo, this was the first fragrance. I didn't know anything about beast mode fragrances. This was the first fragrance that I got that was a true beast mode fragrances. And with this fragrance, I learned a lesson about overspring. So I think I might have been telling you one day we was talking on the phone. I
Hmm.
got that, and it was in the wintertime when I got it. It's probably like late fall when I got it. And so we had came out of study hall, and I took a shower. We was gonna go out that night, and so I got all my clothes on, and so I had that Giacomo, and I did about 5 sprays of it, which was too much. And then for
Okay.
some reason, I thought that it wasn't enough, and I did about 5 or 6 more. And I just remember when I walked into the day room, I was at the back of the day room. It was a huge day room, maybe like 40 feet, from the back to the front. And when I walked in, bro, I was in there like about 10 seconds. And the people at the front of the day room started turning around. And they was like, looking like, who the hell is that? They must know, like they were saying, man, this dude took a bath in this shit, right? When the
Hmm.
way everybody was looking at me, it made me feel like real self-conscious. I felt kind of bad because I was like, damn, bro, you can't be wearing next time. Don't do so many sprays. And
Hmm.
so that was my first lesson that I learned in like overspraying and like wearing too much fragrance. But so now I got Drakkar, I got Lagerfield, and I got Giacomo. So I hooked up with a couple of dudes in the Air Force that was used to do a lot of clubbing. And so we
Okay.
was every Friday night and Saturday night. This was after tech school. I'm at my first base now in New Jersey. And so
Okay.
we used to go out every Friday and Saturday night. And so that's when I started really trying to get up on some new fragrances, right? So just about maybe every couple of months, I would go in the base exchange and I would see what they had. And I wasn't like taking any cues from anybody. I would just spray the tester. And if it smelled good, I would just get it. So I didn't know anything back then about how, this is a wintertime fragrance. This is a summertime fragrance. I was
Hmm.
just spraying them. And if they smell good, I got them. And I would just wear them
Yeah.
whenever. So the next fragrance I got was I got that OG Hugo Boss, man. I
Yeah.
got the OG Hugo Boss. Then I got a bunch of fragrances like in bunches. I had like in over a 6 month period, I might have got like 6 or 7 fragrances. But I got that Hugo Boss, the original. I got that original OG Giorgio Armani. It was like a nice citrus joint. I got that. I got that Paul Sebastian.
Mm-hmm.
I got now I bought Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit
Yeah.
was an expensive fragrance back then. It was like I think I paid like $80 for that. Now I
Okay.
remember, and nobody had it. I just went and I smelled it, and I got that from Macy's. I smelled the tester, and I was like, damn man, this smells pretty good. So I got it. But I remember it was about $75 or $80. And I remember back then I was thinking, dang, bro,
That's
that's a lot of
expensive.
cash. Do you think you really want to do that? So I went ahead and got it. So then I got that Paul Sebastian. Another one I had that was real nice. I had that Chanel Antaeus Sport, man. It had a real light like talcum. I bit somebody on that one, man. My boy Frank, he was the guy we used to go out to the clubs together. He was like,
Mm-hmm.
yo, man, I just got this, man. Check this out. He sprayed it in my face and he said, shit smells like talcum powder, boy. So I smelled it. It smelled pretty good. I think the next weekend I went to Macy's and got that. Another one I had was I had just it's just hold up, man. It's sitting on the top of my head. I was hang on. I don't know if you ever okay, the curve. That's a
Yeah.
cheapie now. That's in Macy's. But that came out, that was hitting. So I got that curve, and it was the original one with the kind of like goldish green tint bottle.
Yeah.
I had that.
Mm-hmm.
Then I had another one called I don't see it that much. I think every now and then I might see it in the rack stores. It was called Bijan.
Yeah.
And the cap is shaped like a donut, a frosty glass like
Yeah.
donut. Okay, I had that. And then I remember I think it was like 93. I did a
Okay.
temporary duty to Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
And I was over there for like 6 months. And so I remember I went into the little malls they had over there, and they had one that had a whole bunch of fragrances. I said, all right, let me go in here and see what they got. So I went in there. The guy was like, you need the Arab guy was like, you need to get this, bro. He was like, he sprayed it. It was that Terry Mugler, amen. It was that Terry
Okay.
Mugler, amen. So he was like, so I sprayed it, and I was like, yeah, it had that chocolate. It had that chocolate accord. I never smelled any fragrances that had chocolate in them. So I got my nose on that. I was like, this is fire right here. And he was like, yeah, you should go ahead and get this. He said, this just came out. He said, and it ain't out in the States yet. He said, all the fragrances come out here and in Paris first. So it's going to be several months before this comes to the States. So when he told me that, I went ahead and got it. So I had that Terry Mugler, amen. So I had after I got those. So I think total I probably had like 10 fragrances. It may be
Okay.
one or two and that I told you about that Tuscany. I had that Tuscany. A
Yeah.
guy had that. He sprayed that one and said, man, you got to get this. It was like a leather fragrance, but it had a
Mm-hmm.
lot of nice citrus in it. So I got that now. Okay. And I'm not buying anything else. So I'll say maybe like I did get that. Oh, I got one more. That I think around maybe 2015. So I ain't bought any fragrances in years, man. I've got all
Okay.
these. I'm thinking maybe some of my bottles are less than 50%.
Mm-hmm.
But like that Paul Sebastian, when I got that, I wore it a few times, but I kind of like fell out of love with it. So that Paul Sebastian was pretty much full. It maybe had like it was probably like 90%. All the
Okay.
others, some of them was 50%, some of them was a little less than 50%. So that's what I had. Then in 2015, I got this. I was telling you about this, that
Yeah. Cuba.
Cuba
Go
Gold.
gold.
I got this. Okay, I'm gonna speak a little bit on this one, but I got that Cuba Gold, and it smelled really good. And I think,
Yeah.
and when I bought it, it was a cheapie when I bought it, because I bought it in like 2015. And for the longest, so I told you I went through this thing where I was moving, and I
Mm-hmm.
put all my fragrances in my backpack, and
Yeah.
now I keep all my boxes and stuff. But back then, I didn't keep the boxes to my fragrances. If I bought TVs, stereo equipment, whatever, I would always keep the boxes. But for some reason, I would throw the boxes away to the fragrances.
Okay.
So I was moving, and I just put them all in the backpack. And I was thinking when I put them in, I could hear the bottles clinking together when they was in the
Yeah.
backpack. But I was like, nah, man, I ain't gonna drop this. And so I didn't even put it all the way on. I just had it like just on one side of my shoulder. I leaned
Yeah.
down or something, and it slipped off, man. And then it hit the concrete,
Mm.
and all the bottles in there broke. So I was like, damn, bro. But I wasn't that mad. because I didn't know anything about original formulations or anything like that. So if I'd have knew that, I'd probably been really upset. But I was just like, oh, I ain't even gonna sweat. I'm just gonna go ahead and start over. So although I think the only one that didn't break was Paul Sebastian. And I wasn't in love with that. So when I started getting new stuff, dude, I threw that away. It was like a full like 90 mil of 100 mil original OG formulation from the 80s. And I just threw it away because I didn't know anything about formulation. So now I'm thinking, okay, now we're like maybe 2021, end of 2020, early 2021. It's like, okay, I'm gonna get some new fragrances. And I used to see like ads, even though I had all these other fragrances, I used to see ads in the magazines for like Sauvage. You see like Johnny Depp and stuff like that, but I didn't have any interest to go out and get anything else. I had those fragrances, and I thought with what I had then, I thought I had the fragrance game on lock, man. I thought I was just like killing the game. So I didn't have any desire to get anything else. So when I started to rebuild, that's when I started watching all these YouTube channels, And the first one I got was this is like 2021. It was towards the winter time, late fall. I got that CK1 shot. That was the first one I got because I started looking at all the videos and everybody was saying that CK1 shot smells really nice. Still, I don't know anything about wearing fragrances in different climates or anything like that. I just went and got it, And it did smell really good, I didn't know it had tobacco in it at the time. And that's one of my favorite notes is tobacco. So I know it had a kind of a strange smell to it, but it smelled really good. And the only thing about it, it didn't last that long. It seemed like it was only lasting about 3 or 4 hours. And that's the only one I got. I don't have anything else. I just got that one bottle. So I'm using it every day and I'm reapplying it and I'm doing like 10 to 12 sprays every time. So I just ran through that bottle. It took me maybe like 6 weeks. And that's the only bottle that I ever finished. And I just ran through that bottle in about 6 weeks. So then I'm like, okay, you're gonna have to get a few more. And that's when I started looking at fragrances that's gonna last a long time. That's when I first started hearing about beast mode fragrances. So the next fragrance that I got, I got Bentley for Men Intense, man. That was like the next one I got, Bentley for Men Intense. You can see where the level is on this. I've taken some of it out of the bottle and decanted it. So that's
still got a little nice bit in it.
Yeah, just for the people that's watching. What I usually do with all my fragrances is once I get them, especially if it's 100 ml, I'll take some of it out of the bottle and decant it in one of these. And this is what I will use, and I'll take the bottles and I put them up in the closet and I got them up there, with the towels over them to try to see if they're going to macerate. So I got that Bentley for Men Intense. Then I got that Cremo Spice and Black Vanilla because I seen that one on TLTG.
Yeah.
He was saying it was just like
Spice Bomb.
Just like Spice Bomb. Everybody was saying if you don't want to get Spice Bomb, you don't want to spend the money, get this. It's just the same. But I think you were saying that it's not, man.
It's not. It really is. It's really not. And before we continue, I just want to interrupt you real quick. Julio's in here. So what's up, Julio? How you doing? And Rick, what's up, Rick? How you doing, man? Hopefully you're having a great day, man, in Miami. But yeah, man, you're talking about the Cremo Black Spice and Vanilla, how it's not the same Victor and Ralph Spice Bomb, right?
Oh yeah.
So it's really not the same. You smelled Spice
the
Bomb,
Cremo
right?
Spice and Black Vanilla, I had that one, and I had those two.
Okay. So you got the Cremo Black Spice and Vanilla, and
I think that might be one of the ones that you was gonna send me in the package. But I know out of all the stuff that you sent me, you never sent me Spice Bomb.
I'm gonna have to send you that one then, and then you can compare the two.
I had the Cremo Spice and Black Vanilla, and then I had the Bentley for Men Intense. And so then one of my other homies, I was over at his house, man, and he walked past, Okay, thanks, man. Okay, okay.
Oh, I think the audio maybe there's some delay, but you're continuing. You said
You
you were
there?
walking. Yeah, yeah, I'm still here. Are you there? Uh-oh.
You there?
Yeah, yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, okay. So
Um,
after I got that yeah, I can hear you. It's
okay.
kind of your image is freezing a little bit.
Is it? Let's see. Damn, we lost the live, guys. Hmm. I don't know what end that is on. Could be on my end, to be honest. Um, oh no, he left. Uh, okay, so, uh, so Julio, what's up, man? What's your son of the day? And Rick, what's your son of the day? If you still here? Oh, he's back. Okay, he's back.
Okay.
You back? All right, all right.
Yeah.
We
Okay, I
lost you
can
there
hear you,
for a
man.
second.
No problem. No
Okay.
problem. Yeah. So after I got that criminal spice and black vanilla, then I was over another one of my homie's house,
Hmm.
and he walked by, and I got some CIs of his. And I was like, "Yo, man, what is that?" And he said, "Yo, man, this is my stuff right here." And he reached up in the closet and he had that Savage. And when I seen the Savage, I was like, "Yo, okay, man, I know about that." I said, "It's got that magnetic cap, right?" And he was
Hmm.
like, "Yeah." So he said, "You want a couple of shots?" So he gave me a couple of shots. He had the Savage parfum. So
Okay.
when I came into the Savage game, I came in at the parfum level I never had, and I didn't know anything of. I used to see the ads. Okay, back
Okay.
then I didn't know anything about EDP or anything like that. But I remember seeing Savage in the magazines, and I remember seeing Johnny Depp. He was supposed to be like the spokesperson or something like that for Savage. But I got that Savage parfum, so that was probably like the first one that I had purchased that was kind of expensive because I
Okay.
paid like I paid 98 for the
Okay.
60 mil. And then after I got that, like I said, I share this place with like two other people. So one of the dudes that was living in here, man, he was in the colognes. And he came in the room one day and I was showing him my colognes I had. And back then, I think the heaviest hitter I had was Sauvage Parfum. So he showed me this Bond number 9, man.
The
He had this
Lafayette
Bond
Street.
number 9, Lafayette Street. And he let me get a couple of shots of it. And I just kept saying, "Yo, man, this shit is nice, man." I just kept hyping it and hyping it. To the next morning, we was in the kitchen and he said, "Yo, man," he just handed it to me, man. He just
Oh,
handed it to me. And I
okay.
said, "Yo, man," I was like, "Bro, you giving me this? You giving me this?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Wait, what's wrong with it?" He said, "No, man, I got it from this chick, and we broke up, man. So, if you want it, you can have it." And this was 100 mil, and he said he only sprayed it, he only wore it like 3 times. So
Okay.
basically, it was a full 100
Brand
mil,
new.
and you know how much this one is going for, retail.
Hmm.
So I was really happy to get this. So now I'm just starting out, right? And then somebody just give me something like this. Now I'm just starting to rebuild. So the same guy, it's kind of unfortunate.
Okay.
Um, he had a medical condition. He used to play football. He was a running back.
Mm.
And I guess from him getting hit in the back, he had his nerves would like close up, and he would have to go get nerve injections. We didn't know because I remember that the air in the house used to always be really cold all the time. It used to be like 60 degrees in the house. Everybody would be walking around in coats. So we would ask him about the air conditioning. And he said, "Man, I got some kind of medical condition."
Hmm.
Um, he didn't. He just said if the temperature gets too warm, it will affect me medically. That's all he said. So he
Okay.
had went out. He had went out to the basketball court one day, and he collapsed on the basketball court. And he like
Mm.
died.
Oh wow.
His,
Okay.
his nerves would like close up, and he would go into cardiac arrest. So he was
Oh
from
okay.
the East Coast, and his parents came and like got all his stuff. So I was helping them clean out all this stuff. They was taking it back to the East Coast, and so I was like, "Y'all gonna throw?" Because they were just throwing away stuff, man. They
Hmm.
kept his clothes, but like stuff like toiletries and stuff like that, they were just throwing them in a can. And so I said, "Y'all gonna throw away any cologne?" And they was like, "Oh, you want it?" And they was like, so he had like some couple of guesses, and I think he had a CK1 summer in
Hmm.
there, something like that. Then they say he got this other one, and it's named after that movie Creed.
Oh,
And so that's
okay.
how I got that Creed Milsom Imperial, man. So I kind of guess you could
Uh,
say it kind of like got willed to me, you know. I guess so it's unfortunate, kind of like how I came across this one, you know. But
yeah.
so I got the Creed, and he had been wearing this one. Actually, he had this one, and he had a 50 mil, but the 50 mil was empty. Remember, I
Okay.
was telling you I was trying to figure out how I could take the cap off
Yeah.
of the Creed, and I was gonna give you some of this out of here and just send it to you
Yeah.
because when he gave me this, I think it was about 80%. You know,
Okay.
when I got it from his mom, and so I gave a couple of decants, some of my friends, and it's okay, Darius. I mean, it's Creed. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's okay. I mean, I think it could be like a signature scent. It has a very nice, bright citrus, smell
Yeah.
to it. But once I got up on some red tobaccos and stuff like this has kind of fell to the wayside. But
Mm-hmm.
I took some out. I took some out of the bottle. I have like 8 mil of this, and it does perform pretty good in the
Does it?
summertime. Yeah, on me,
Now,
if I
now,
do like about six, go ahead.
well, my bad. How many hours does it last for you? Because for me, at least,
I'm
didn't
gonna
last
get to
that long. Oh, my bad. Yeah, no. Yeah.
in the summer. If
Mm-hmm.
I do about 6 sprays in the summer, it's gonna last 8 to 9 hours, man. Because when I
Okay.
first got it, it was kind of cold, and this was another mistake I made. I was telling you I didn't know anything about how temperatures affect the performance. So there's
Mm-hmm.
one fragrance that I got that I'm gonna repurchase. I had got that Banana Republic Metal Rain. It was a citrus fragrance,
Okay.
and I bought it in February, and I was wearing it in February, and so I was like, man, this is supposed to be an EDP, but it's only lasting like 3 or 4 hours. So I gave it away. And now that I understand how,
It
fragrances,
works.
perform better in the summer, and this was a summertime fragrance, but I was
Mm-hmm.
wearing it in the winter and it wouldn't last. So I'm going to go, if I see that one in Burlington, I'm going to repurchase it. But,
Okay.
and so then right about that time, I'm going to say maybe like March or April or something like that last year. That's when I ran into you. I don't even remember how we started sending each other stuff. I think I made a comment on one of your videos about, man, I'd like to try that or something like that. And you was like, oh, don't worry, bro. I'll send it to you. And so
Yeah.
then after that, once go ahead, go ahead.
Oh, my bad. It was either the Bentley for Men Intense video I made, or it was, remember, with the what's his name, Grow Man Style. So Grow
Okay.
Man Style, and then I had either commented underneath his video or something like that, replied
Mhm.
to you, and you came to my channel. I think that's how that worked, to be honest. And
Yeah,
then
but
and
once
then
I
you
go
yeah.
ahead.
No, and then you know what I mean. Then we just start talking.
Yeah. But once I hooked up with you, man, you started sending me a lot of fucking like heavy hitters, man. I mean, I remember just some of the ones that you turned me on to that were
Hmm.
really good. That's another thing I wanted to go into is like the fragrances that people recommended that ended up just being straight up bangers, man. The
Yeah,
first
go
two
ahead.
fragrances that you sent me was that red tobacco. Was
Yep.
one of them, man.
Yep.
Red
Yep.
tobacco, and you
Yep.
sent me that chocolate greedy. Those are the
Yep.
first two. I remember as soon as and I've been seeing other reviews about red tobacco on the fragrance
Hmm.
channels. Because at this time when I hooked up with you, I had maybe subscribed to about maybe like 8 or 9 fragrance channels. So I
Okay.
was always every day I'd be watching these fragrance reviews. But they had said that red tobacco was very challenging, and that
Hmm.
if you can get past the dry down, you'll be rewarded, right? So
Yeah.
when you gave it to me, I remember hearing that, so I was already prepared for the
Hmm.
opening. But when I sprayed it, I was like, damn, man, I see what they talking about now. And I felt like it was just really harsh. But I'm gonna say maybe after 2 to 5 minutes, that harshness went away. The thing I like about red tobacco, bro, the more that it dries down, man, the
Yeah.
better it gets.
Yep.
I mean, I'm talking hours into the dry down, it's
Yep.
getting like better and better.
It's getting
But that
smoother.
red tobacco, you recommended that one, and that one turned out to be a winner. One other thing I wanted to talk about right quick, and
Hmm.
I'm not a rep for these people, but a lot of my Manceras and Montals, I purchased the decants from DKNX. But the reason
Okay.
why I like them is because they always match the. I don't know if you could. I think the writing is gonna come in reverse, the way it's set up.
No, it's coming. It's coming
Okay, it's not.
straight on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. What DKNX does is they match the color of the label to the
Mm-hmm.
color on the Mancera or Montal bottles. So
Okay.
it comes out to be, it's like a halfway decent looking presentation, you know.
Yeah.
And then on their Manceras and their Montals, you can get a 32 mil for like, I think they start out at maybe like $33. I think
Yeah.
depending on what fragrance it is, you can get the 32 mil for maybe like $40. You know, I know
Okay.
some people might say, you know, oh man, but if you shop around, you can get that Mancera or that Montal about 70, $80, man. But you know, I'm from the train of thought of like, you know, you don't save money on
Yeah.
buying a bigger bottle unless if you use it all up, then you can
Mm-hmm.
say, you know, I saved some money. But if you didn't use it all up, you know, then you just basically, it ain't stupid. I mean, it's still, you can get 100 mil for $80. That's not like a bad move, you know, but I just look
Yeah.
at it like, am I going to even use that? And, you know, I've had this red tobacco for about 6 months now, and I've used some of it. I mean, it's got a little small dent in it,
Well,
but
like,
I've also given some of it away. Hmm?
yeah. Oh, I meant like
Yeah,
5 mLs or so, like that.
yeah.
Plus, red tobacco,
And
that,
some,
oh my bad,
go
red
ahead.
tobacco, that lasts, forever and a day. So you really only need 3, 4 sprays. That's it for one
Yeah.
day.
Now,
You know.
I tend to lean on like, I'm kind of like on team overspray. So I mean, even when I come out blasting with red tobacco, then I'm probably doing like 4 sprays, you know. So, but on the other fragrances, I would do like 6, 7, or 8. So I know I ain't gonna do no 8 sprays and no red tobacco. I ain't that crazy, but I tend to go a little bit beyond the recommended dosage. Like some people say, you know,
Mm-hmm.
you can do 2 sprays, you'll be good all day with red tobacco. I'm still gonna come out of there. I'm coming out of the gate with like 4, you know. And when I do red tobacco and like
Yeah.
Sauvage Elixir and those fragrances, I put it on and I try to like stay here at the house for about an hour to let it go into a deep dry down because I don't want to offend anybody, especially if I go to the movies, man, on movie day. Because you know it'd be
Yeah.
a bunch of people sitting in close quarters, so I gotta, you
Yeah.
know, I so far haven't offended anybody, you know. So I try to at least be conscious of my sprays, and I'm gonna be in places where there's gonna be a lot of people around.
Yeah.
Because that one incident I told you about that Giacomo back in the '80s, that still is burned into my memory now. How those people were looking at me, how
Mm-hmm.
they were looking like they wanted to jump on me or something, man. That's how pissed they were, you know, how much fragrance I put on. And so
Uh-huh.
I try not to do that anymore. I try to just be cool, you know, when I'm around other people, try to control my sprays a little bit. But in the
Yeah.
house, I'm gonna come out blasting, which brings me to something else I wanted to just speak on right quick. I was telling you about this Cuba Gold.
Cuba Gold.
The first Cuba Gold that I purchased, I think it was back in 2015 or whenever. It wasn't. I don't remember it being a long lasting fragrance. It's only like,
Mm-hmm.
you know, maybe like 4 hours. But when I would wear it, people would say that it smelled good, but only lasted like 4 hours. So that's one of the reasons why I didn't want to get it.
Okay.
But like I was saying, you know, people were saying that it was a clone of Jean Paul Gaultier. So when I saw this Wednesday in Ross, because you know, I got the Fragmatica app on my phone, and for the Android phones, you can get the Fragmatica app. And so I had the app.
Mm-hmm.
So I pulled it up right quick because I wanted to see how similar it was to Lamar. And that's when I saw that the date on it was 1979 when it came out. And I was like, what? I was like, well, let me go see when Lamar came out. So I looked up Lamar, and it was released in 1995. So I'm like, wait
Mm.
a minute, man, this is not a clone. This came out almost 20 years before Lamar. So that made me want to go ahead and repurchase it. Now, as far as the performance,
It's bad.
like I said, the first one I had was 4 hours. Now, I've
Mm-hmm.
been wearing this every day
Okay.
since Thursday. I bought it Wednesday night. I started wearing it every day on Thursday. This has got some surprising performance. Like the first day I wore it, I came out curly style, man. I was like this here and here, man. I did about
Yeah.
20 sprays, okay,
Mm.
and it lasted about 14 hours. That was because I
14.
sprayed so much on my shirt.
Well, how
Lasted
many
about 14 hours, bro.
How many sprays you
Hmm?
do on your shirt? 14 hours for a Cuba
Oh,
Gold fragrance?
it, check it out, man. I did 20 sprays total. Man. I think I did like
Okay.
maybe 12 on me, and then another 8 or so on my shirt. Okay, and it
Okay.
lasted about 14 hours, but that was just on clothes. So the next night when I wore it, I went to bed. I sprayed
Uh-huh.
some of it on, right? I sprayed maybe
Yeah.
like 6 or 7 sprays, and I went to bed. When I woke up the next morning, I could still smell it, and this was just on skin. No
Okay.
clothes. It was about 8 hours, bro. I did about 8 or 9 sprays that time. And so the performance on it is pretty good, man. I was surprised that it would perform that well. So I've been wearing this, like I said, the last 3 or 4 days. I'm probably gonna after today, I probably put it down and get on something else. But I don't know if you can see this, man. Okay, the atomizer on this is good, man. Let me show you the app. It's got a real good atomizer, man, for $8.
Real
And also
nice
on the
nose.
atomizer, I don't know if you can see it.
Hmm.
It's got cute. Hold up. It's got Cuba Paris
You
engraved
know,
in the atomizer.
I would say I
Yeah,
could
for like
see
eight
it.
dollars, man. So I'm happy with this, and it's like 100 mil. But normally I don't get anything
Mm-hmm.
this cheap, man. I don't.
So
Oh, hold up.
the I think the feed was kind of
Hmm?
okay. Yeah, now I can see it. All right, because I was gonna say it was a little grainy,
Okay.
but it's
Yeah.
not grainy. It's not grainy no more. So uh so the so how was your transition? So like when did you start transitioning into like niche or why?
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna
Why?
get so. At first, like I said, I never knew anything about different tiers of fragrances. I
Yeah.
just got those designer fragrances, and I thought that was it, man. And
Mhm.
so when I started watching the YouTube videos, I started hearing about niche fragrances. So the first guy YouTube video that I started following, where this person dealt like more specifically with niche fragrances, was that Portuguese guy Joe Lima,
Yeah.
Senate Moments.
Yeah.
Actually, he was the one, but he does have some designers, a few, and he'll do videos like on Beast Mode designer fragrances, and that's how I got this the CK reveal. That was on his
Yeah.
channel, and it's supposed to be discontinued. Man, this
Mhm.
smells so good, but well, I'm getting ahead of myself. I just want to say this smells so good that out of all these Calvin Klein fragrances that they've come out with in the future, and some of the OGs that they still have, I don't understand why they would discontinue this. This is one of the best of all the like Calvin Klein fragrances.
It is
Even
great.
you
It
you
is
smelled
good.
this before?
Remember you sent me a sample. I'm supposed to be
Oh, okay,
doing a I'm waiting for the
okay,
weather to kind of warm up a little bit so I could do a full review
okay.
on it, but it does smell really good
But
though.
to me, even though this smells really good and it lasts a
Mhm.
long time, I can after having some niche fragrances under my belt, I can clearly see the difference in the blend between this and a niche fragrance. So
Yeah.
it's nice, man, but it ain't it's not niche quality. But I will say though that the this Bentley for Men Intense, to me,
Mhm.
the blend on this is like niche level to
Yeah.
me. I mean, when I first, because I remember I didn't know anything about niche fragrances, and I got this, and I opened up
Mhm.
the box, and I put a couple of shots in the air. I could clearly, detect that refinedness of the blend, and I was like, "Damn, boy, this they did their thing with this."
Yeah.
So how how has the price on this been consistent? Because I've only ever seen it like for like 35, $36. Was it ever expensive at any time?
Yeah, back I want to say it was about a year ago when Bentley for Men Intense was really getting hyped. You know what I mean?
Right.
From TLTG, Curly, whoever else is on the YouTube platform, right? Every Dally or Dallas, I'm sorry, from Chaos Fragrances. I mean, they were just hitting it so hard. Ash from Jensen's, they were hitting it so hard, and
Right.
I had bought it before it got hyped, and I bought it for around $40-ish. I saw it; it was so expensive to one point. I saw it like $75. That was on Amazon, and I mean, I don't know if I'd pay $75
Okay.
for it, but like, I mean, it is a great
Right.
fragrance. I mean, I bought it, and then I gave it to my dad because uh, um the person I think somebody's told me I smelled like a sugar daddy or something like that, right? And that's not what I strive to be in life. So I gave it to my dad. I gave it to my dad, and he
Oh
wore it
man.
one day, and I was like, "Man, that smells so good! Like, what is that?" And he's like, "Oh, it's that Bentley from Intense." And I was like, "You know what? I gotta get it." So I had repurchased it, but when I repurchased it, it was at like
Mhm.
$35. So yeah, I'd say like from like 30 to $45. That's consistent price. But yeah, I mean, like I was saying, it's been hyped at one point to where it was 70 something dollars, which is ridiculous. And one second, let's answer some of these comments real quick because I see a whole bunch in here now.
Okay.
Uh, so
'Cause I
Jason, he
can't see
said,
any comments. I'm glad you can see them.
"Yeah, I don't know how to set it up to where like if someone comments, it just pops up on the screen and then we can like answer it. But I have to work with this technology and stuff." So Jason says he's like, "What's up, Locke? Just stopping by. What's up, Jason? If you're still watching." Um, Brian Eldridge, what's up, man? How you doing? And Brian Eldridge says, or Etheridge, my bad. He says he has Mercedes Benz Gray and Bentley for Men Azure coming in Monday. Uh, I've never smelled any of those. Have you smelled those, Nebu? Any of
No,
the no,
I
no,
haven't.
probably good, probably coming from Bentley. So,
No.
uh, Neko 3000, he said, I love the term choke 'em out. Hmm. Oh yeah, okay. I think that was when I think that's when I think that's when you were talking about when you had overspray. So Julio says I'm doing 22
Oh yeah,
sprays.
that Giacomo man. Okay.
Hey, overspray gang, right? Reneklo 3000, he
I
said
saw
I
this
have
video, man. This was a
hmm,
while back.
hmm. Wait, hold on. He said I have fragrance net website always in my phone browser like 24/7. Yeah, see you everybody who's got an Android, y'all are lucky cuz
Okay.
you could get the app. I have an iPhone, so we're limited. So yeah. One second, Nebu. Brian says, I love Bentley for Men Intense. It's fire. Brian also says it's low 40s in on Fragnet now. So yeah, okay. Yeah. And then we got two more. He said, Neko 3000, he says, I wore Koros while at the supermarket and two women lost their minds. Oh my God, who's wearing that cologne? It reminds me of, oh my God, they found me, LOL. And you're going to be getting a sample of that, Nebu. So I actually put that in the package for you. Uh, I'm curious to
I
see
wanted
what you
to.
think about that one.
Okay, since we can I just say something right quick since he just
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I got this joint right here. Let me see if I can find it. Hang on, let me go get it, man. Let me go get
Okay.
it, man. I found this. It's a little store here in my town called Shoppers World, and they
Okay.
sell like a whole bunch of different like cheapies. And I
Mm-hmm.
found this in there. It's Coors. It's supposed to be a knockoff of Coros, but I was telling you, one day I went in there on my way to the movies, and I
Mm-hmm.
sprayed it on my hand, and that one spray on my hand lasted 11 hours. And so I was like, damn, man, this might be good for old
Mm-hmm.
boys channel that one. What's the dude? Scent Talk TV, because that's what he likes to do, is find them
Okay.
hidden gem cheapies. So
Mm-hmm.
I bought two of these when I went to the store the other day, to the shoppers, where I got one for me and one for him, and I was gonna send it to him. But when I opened up his box, because no, the one that I purchased for myself, I opened up the box and it had a
Mm-hmm.
whole bunch of brown gunk in the box, like it
Yeah.
had leaked out like maybe 12 years ago, and it just turned brown. So, and it's the box, the inside of the box smelled horrible. So I said, well, wait a minute, this is the one I was gonna send him. I said, okay, you
Mm-hmm.
know what? I'm gonna open this one up because I want to see if this one is leaked as well. But it didn't. When I sprayed it on my hand, dude, it smelled like piss, man. And I was
Yeah.
like, man, so I haven't even got back to him yet because I was gonna tell him. that I wasn't going to send it to him, man, because I ain't going to send him some fragrance that smells like piss,
No,
man.
dude.
It's going to have to be halfway decent if I'm going to send it to him. I'm not
No,
going to
hold
send him
on.
a bottle of piss and say,
Hold
put this
on.
on your channel, man, and
Hold
review
on.
this. So another thing I noticed about it.
Coral smells. It does smell
Okay.
a little bit like piss. It does. It has like a little bit of like a urinal cake vibe going on. For real. The OG. It does.
Oh, it does. Okay.
Yeah, it's a little
Okay.
dirty. It's a little dirty, like animalic,
Okay.
pissy.
Okay. That's what it was,
Yeah.
man. Because and this bottle, man, they pretty much
Copied it.
did a good job on trying
Yeah.
to do the Coros bottle. But one
Mhm.
of the things that's kind of weak about it, man, is you turn around the back, it's got a little cutout right there on the atomizer where you put your finger to spray it, man. So it kind of
Mhm.
looks kind of cheesy. But I don't know if I'm gonna send it to him. But when you send me the Coros,
Mhm.
I'll I may reach back out to him and ask him if he still wants it, because he did say this might be some good content for my channel. But when it smelled like urine, man, it was such a strong urine smell. I was
Mhm.
like, dang, man, you gonna send somebody a bottle of piss and tell them to review this, man. So I didn't want to give it to him. But back to your original question, you would
Uh-huh.
ask me, and we went off the track a little bit. You would ask me what got me into niche fragrances.
Yeah.
I just got thrusted into the niche game because, like I said, my homie, he gave me this Bond number 9, man. And then I got this Creed. Those were the two. Those were the first two niche fragrances that I got. So I wasn't even looking to purchase any because I would have never paid no 400 for this right here.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
no.
he just gave them to me, and so
Uh-huh.
got my nose on them, once I got my nose on them, and I could see the difference in the blend and the scent profile from a typical designer fragrance, and I was like,
Mhm.
okay, this is what I need to be on right here.
Yeah.
So I started looking for niche fragrances. Like I said, you sent me that red tobacco. That was the first. Well, I know the first niche fragrance that I purchased was
Mhm.
Cedrat Boise. I
Okay.
purchased that. I've been seeing a lot of reviews on Cedrat Boise, and so
Yeah.
when I got that, man, I mean, as soon as I sprayed that in the air, when I got it home, when it
Mhm.
came in the mail, I said, "This is it right here. This is what I need to be on right here."
Yeah.
Then you sent me that red tobacco. That was fire, man. Then the next uh niche fragrance, I don't know if you call it a niche fragrance. It's that eccentric molecule '01.
I I don't know
This was the
what.
next. The Melissa. Now she was hyping this.
Yeah.
Hmm?
Oh, no, no, no. Go continue, continue. Because you asked me if I considered it a
I was
niche
saying
fragrance.
this.
Wait, is it you? Yeah.
I
Okay.
guess it's
So,
supposed. I was saying.
uh-huh. No, no. Go. Continue.
I was just
Continue. My
saying.
bad. I think it's a delay.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I was saying I don't know if this is actually considered a niche. I mean, I guess it's just an individual house that's making it, and they're not a designer. So I guess it's supposed to be a niche fragrance. So what do you think about it? You classify this as niche?
Honestly, I don't know, man. I don't know. Okay, yeah, I guess so. I guess it could be niche, but I don't
Yeah,
really
but
feel
this
like
one
it's
right
a.
here.
I mean, I don't. I'm not really into the like the eccentric line. I feel like those are like
Yeah.
additives to add on to a fragrance, so maybe they're
Yeah.
like a fragrance accessory. You know what I'm saying? But it's a
Yeah.
fragrance. You could put it. Yeah, sure. You could put it in the category of niche since they only make fragrances. I haven't seen any clothes or flip flops or bags or anything like that. Pretty much along the lines of that brand. But then again, I'm not
Yeah.
too
But
familiar with that brand. So
yeah, this one right here though, like this is one of the. I saw this on some other channels,
okay,
but Melissa National, she was the one that was hyping this one up the most, and she was saying how it could enhance fragrances. So I had a couple of weak ones back. This was before I adapted that 8 hour, requirement. So I had a couple of
yep,
weak ones, and I tried to use this to boost them a little bit, but to me it didn't do that good of a job. So I started spraying it on myself, and it had a decent little scent to it. So I don't even try to layer it with anything anymore. I just use it by itself, and it lasts a long time. I mean, the way it sinks into your the way it gets into your skin and your chemistry and just stays there like all day. Because I wore this, I put this on one day early in the morning. The next morning I got up to go do a run and a jog. So we're talking about maybe like 26 hours later. And I went out because I didn't want to take a shower. So I'm just going to go do that first, then come back and take a shower. And when I came back, one of the dudes here was saying, "Yo, bro, that shit right there is popping, man. What is that?" And it was this molecular one. It was over 26 hours, bro. It was still projecting. So when I saw that, I said, okay. This is a keeper right here. So I've given a couple of decants to people like you and a couple of others, so you can see what the levels is. Plus, I took some out and put it in one of these 8 ml decants. So
yeah,
but this is great. Now I don't know about that ISO. That this is ISO E Super. The other one, which is Moleculo 2, is ambroxan.
Okay.
And that one is supposed to have more of a scent to it. I seen it on Melissa's channel. I don't think I'll get that one though. I'm just content with the Moleculo 1. And now I got all these beast mode fragrances, so I don't have any performance issues. So I don't need to go out and get any like ambroxan or anything like that. But yeah, but so the only niches that I've purchased, I mean, I have that Moleculo 1. I got the Cedrat Bose, which I gave to my nephew.
Yeah.
Because usually when I get something and it doesn't perform, I'm not happy with it, I give it to my nephews. Like I was telling you, he's artistic, and so he didn't really have a lot of fragrances. So I think he had a couple of cheapies. So I just went ahead. Whenever I don't like want something, I just give it to him. So he's got like about 8 fragrances because those are all the ones that I didn't like that I gave to him. Oh, I wanted to say something about that Metal Rain.
Yeah, go ahead.
I was on which one of the sites? Scent Split. They got that joint on Scent. They got the whole Banana Republic icon line on Scent Split. They want like $90 for them joints, man. And I know you can get it at TJ Maxx for like $20, man.
Yeah.
And they were selling them for like $90, man. I don't, with all the discount places that's out there right now, that's one of the things that kind of surprises me, that you still have a lot of people, bro, that'll buy retail,
Yep.
But I guess if you're rich, man, if it don't matter to you, but you would think people will be trying to be a lot more, budget oriented, but there's still a lot of people that pay full retail,
I mean, even if, I don't know, man, paying, $150 for something full retail when you can find it for like $60, I mean, that's, even if you were rich, you know what I mean? I feel like you would want to save that money. I'd be hard pressed.
Yeah, I remember when you when I sent you the sample of this and you tested. I remember you said, "Man, it smells good." You said, "But do I think it's worth $400?" And you was like, "No." And I agree. I would think most of the fragrances that's out there, they probably ain't even worth $200, man. Because you got to figure out, like, okay, like this Bond number 9, okay, they charge like I think I seen this $429 or something like that. Okay, how much is it actually costing them to actually make this?
Nothing. Slim to nothing. You're just paying for the brand name. You know what I mean? Bond number 9.
They got a couple of other Bond number 9s that I was interested in. The thing is, well, the Bloomingdale's, they got a Bloomingdale's downtown. That's probably the only place that I could go in my area and test it, because none of the malls, even the Macy's in my area, they ain't hitting hard with no niche fragrances, man. They just got them designers, and that's it. Sauvage Elixir, that might be like the top fragrance that they selling in Macy's. They might have a couple of Pradas in there that's selling really good, that's really popular, but they ain't got no niche fragrances in there. What was you talking about? I got that old man's thing, man, where you start losing your short-term memory. I can remember. I can remember this whole fragrance journey, but I can get ready to go do something in the kitchen, and I'll get in there and I've been and forgot what it was, and I got to sit there and try to retrace my thoughts and figure out what it was. So I'm starting to get that, man.
No, you're good. You're good. You got any tips for us younger folks? You know how to keep that memory sharp. We getting
I
up there.
mean, yeah, I mean, like I said, I can still remember everything from my childhood and everything coming up,
Yeah.
but it's just those little small things I might be have a task that I'm getting ready to do. Like I said, I remember going to the kitchen and marinate some chicken. But when I get in there, I'll be standing in the kitchen saying, "What was it I was getting ready to come in here and do?" You know. So I
Yeah.
don't know. That could be the. I don't know. I think that kind of memory loss. It could be the beginnings of something like Alzheimer's or
I
something like
doubt.
that.
I
So that's
doubt
kind of
it.
got me kind of because I've never had any big health issues, man. I've only been to the hospital like a couple of times, man. I've never been like a really like sick all the time. So you know, it's kind of got that memory loss shit, man. It kind of gets to me every now and then, man. Dude, come on, man, you got to get it together.
You're good.
But was talk. Oh, one other thing I wanted to talk about. I know me and you spoke about it. I spoke to
Hmm.
you about it. Is this one right here?
Yeah, Tahitian waters.
This English laundry, Tahitian waters. Dude, every channel that I've seen on YouTube, they'll always say that this is a maybe a 6 to 8 hour fragrance. And if
Yeah.
you're extremely lucky and you're a blessed, gifted person, you might get 10 hours, man. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And this joint right here, man, like I was telling you, 6 sprays, man, 24 hours on skin. And
Mm.
so I'm not gonna ever deplete this bottle because I was telling you, I think it's some kind of maybe it's like some kind of reject batch or something because I know they're not supposed to last this long. And it ain't even like stretching the 24 hours. I wake up in the morning, as soon as I raise up and just sit on the bed, I just start smelling it.
Okay.
This joint is nice. I'm looking forward to seeing your review on this, man. This is
Yes, man.
probably out of all the cheapies I got, this is
Hmm.
probably the most diamond in the rough cheapie I got. Cause and I think Ross was saying on TLTG that the English laundries that you see loose, like in
Yeah.
the stores, like in the stores like TJ Maxx, are not as potent as the
Hmm.
ones that you buy the whole box in the full presentation. And this was one of the loose ones
Okay.
in TJ Maxx, So I'm real happy. Feel real fortunate to get that. Another one that I'm real happy that I was turned on to is this Frank Olivier Oud
Yeah.
Touch, man.
Hmm.
Bro, you turned me on to this one. I remember when I seen your video, man, you had both of
Hmm.
the bottles like, guys, bangers, straight bangers, man.
They
Okay.
are
And
fat.
this right here, bro, it smells so expensive, man. And I don't even know how you could even make something like this cheap, man. I mean, this joint, man. And it's I don't even like rose. I try to stay away from those floral fragrances.
Yeah.
But this rose and this right here, combined with that oud and that I think is what is it like raspberry,
I think so. Yeah.
bro. This is killer right here. I mean, so I just want to say appreciate you for turning me on
Um.
to this right here. You sent me a sample of this, bro. As soon
Yeah.
as I sprayed it in the air, I was like, okay. I went on Amazon and ordered it, man.
Hmm.
You know, and I remember I was telling you I did a mix. That's something else I wanted to just people might want to know what my outlook is on fragrance and stuff like what I like to do. I'm looking for the tube. Hang on, man. Hang on, I'll be with you.
Oh, you good, man. You good.
Okay, that Oud Beneath.
Hmm.
You gave me a sample of Oud Touch. You gave me a sample of Oud Beneath. And so I used to see people do all these videos about layering, right? I was because I did it with a couple of fragrances. I think I did it with Cremo and Bentley for Men Intense. When I first had those two, I used to try to layer those. And I
Hmm.
was thinking, I was like, but man, since I'm always buying these travel atomizers, I was like, why don't you see if you can try to mix it and put it in the atomizer so that when you spray it, it already comes out mixed. So I've been experimenting with a couple of these, like this Oud Beneath. That's what I call it. But it's that Oud Touch and Cremo Spice and Black Vanilla. It came out pretty good. It smelled pretty much like that Oud Beneath sample
Yeah.
that you gave me. And another one that I haven't mixed yet. I don't have any more atomizers because I had to. What I do when I get ready to mix them, I put one spray on the hand and I spray the other one in the same spot. Then I'll
Okay.
just try to smell them to see if one of them is going to be the more dominant fragrance. And then
Okay.
once I see this one is going to be more dominant, then I got to try to figure out, excuse me, what the ratio is going to be. Like it's
Okay.
going to be one spray for every 3 sprays of this one, or one spray to every 2 sprays. But I was very surprised to find out that on this mix, oud, honey oud, and red tobacco, this actually overpowers the red tobacco. And I
Does
didn't
it?
think I would ever see a fragrance that's going to be more dominant than red tobacco, So I got the mix, man. It's 2 sprays of red tobacco to 1 spray of this. And I sent it to you in
Yeah.
that sample pack that I just
Yeah.
sent you. It's in there,
Mm-hmm.
so you could try it out. But it smells really good, and I know Surge Off Naxos is supposed to be pipe tobacco and honey, and that's what this is. So
You figure
if
they
you ever
probably
get
smell the
Surge Off
same.
Naxos,
You know, I was
I
thinking.
don't know. I've never smelled Surge Off Naxos.
Oh my, yeah.
Go ahead.
I haven't smelled Naxos yet either. I mean, it's so hyped. You know what I mean? I kind of want to try it, but then it's like I got a lot of tobacco fragrances anyway, so I don't know if it would smell similar to something else I've already got. Um, that's what I'm trying to avoid now is like getting fragrances that kind of smell the same because then it'd just be like a waste, you know?
I was trying to figure out, like, I was trying to think of it was some other good ones you turned me on to, but just that I can think of it, that the red tobacco, that's the best recommendation that you gave right there, was that red tobacco. Like I said, this oud touch, and it was a couple that you sent me that I thought was really fire. Oh, hell yeah! Here you go, man. Here you go, right here, man. Tom Ford Ombre Leather, bro.
Oh yeah, that one.
This shit is fire right here, man. This is
Yeah.
fire right here. You gave me a sample of that, and I sprayed it, and I was like, oh shit, man, this is nice right here. And I went and got this one. I like this one so much, bro, that I'm scared to use it because I'm thinking I'm just gonna run right through it. So this is probably gonna be another one that I'm gonna get
Mm-hmm.
a full bottle. You know,
Okay.
that's another thing. We spoke about on the phone sometimes. I didn't get in the fragrance game to build like a massive collection. I broke my bottles and I said, okay, I got to get up on some more fragrances. And I just
Mm-hmm.
wanted to try to get enough fragrances that can cover all the different categories, any situation. So right now, I think I got about 23 bottles or something
Okay.
like that. And I'm gonna get, since I gave my nephew that Cedrat Bose.
Yeah.
At first, I told him I was gonna give it to him, but I
Mm-hmm.
held on to it for a long time because I hadn't you know decided whether I was gonna really get that Kajal Lamar. That's supposed to be that pineapple
Yeah.
bomb.
Yeah.
So I was holding, since I hadn't gotten it yet. I was holding on to that Cedrat Bose, but I took an 8 mil out and I went ahead and gave it to him. But on my radar for things that I gotta get, I'm gonna get that Kajal Lamar, and I'll send you
Mm-hmm.
a sample of that because I
Okay.
was gonna get Nishane Hachabat, but then I watched a couple of channels, like the perfume guy. I watched his channel, and a
Yeah.
couple of other people that did reviews. They were saying that Kajal Lamar is supposed to be some straight up juicy sweet pineapple, and it's
Now
supposed to be a summertime joint. Go ahead,
you
go ahead.
think it would be better than Hashavat? Because I mean, I've heard a lot about Hashavat. That's probably the next Nishane I'm probably gonna get is Hashavat for the summer. Probably
Right.
just go ahead and get the 3.4. Because
That's what I was gonna get. Go ahead, go ahead, go. I'm sorry.
well, no, you're good. They were saying that it's supposed to be some kind of like Creed Aventus. It's not like a clone of Creed Aventus, but like it smells better than Creed Aventus. It's got some fruity notes in there. I think there's some pineapple. I think there's some pineapple too in there too.
Yeah,
Pineapple musk, maybe some fig. I think if I can remember correct. But dude, you watch the niche. It's called the Niche Collector or the Niche Fragrance Collector. You watch that channel?
I haven't never heard of him. I'm gonna check him out, man. I haven't heard.
So
I'm gonna look it up tonight.
Yeah, look it up tonight because he was raving real big about Nishane Hashivat. So
Okay.
I don't know. I don't
So
know.
what I did with Hachivat was
Mm-hmm.
steered me toward Kajal Amar. I watched a lot of videos on the best pineapple fragrance, and they
Okay.
had Nishane in there, and they had Kajal Amar, but they always had Kajal Amar above, like on the as far as ranking the best 10 or whatever. Kajal Amar was always ranked above Nishane Hachiba because that's the one I was gonna get at first was the Nishane Hachiba.
Yeah.
Then I saw Melissa was hyping up that Kajal Lamar, and then I seen a couple of other channels like the Perfume guy. I think he had it
Yeah.
on his channel too, and so
Sebastian.
that's the one I decided to get. But I was gonna get it from try to get it from Fragrance Lords because they got some
Yeah.
really good prices. They don't have it, and then I was gonna try to get it from DK and X. They didn't have it, but Scent Split has it, but I think it's like 210 or something like that. But
Mm-hmm.
they got it at Fragrance by Canada, and it's only 150 for 100
Okay.
mil. It's only 150, so that's why I was gonna try to get it, but I haven't squeezed the trigger on it yet
Yeah.
because I'm trying to see if I can find some more videos on Fragrance by to see what the real skinny is on their shipping. I've heard some people say they've gotten their stuff real quick, and I've heard some people say that it takes forever for them to
Well,
ship from Canada.
from well, I live in Vegas. You live in what, Georgia?
Yeah.
Okay, so when I had ordered something from fragrancebuy.ca, it took them about 5-6 days for them to even ship the package.
Okay.
Understand? So maybe that's because I'm further away. Am I further away? No, maybe you're further away, right? Since you're in Georgia. So
Yeah.
I
You're
don't know,
further
but
away.
yeah, so maybe it would take a little bit longer. I have no idea. But it does come like really nicely boxed. Like they, package the stuff real nice.
Okay.
Shipping's not that too much, not that expensive. But then again, if it is $150, I think you'd qualify for free shipping anyway. So
Yeah. So let me ask you this. So you said it took them about 5 or 6 days just to ship it. Then once they finally did ship it, how long did it take you to get it after that?
like 3 days.
Okay. Okay, that ain't too bad then.
Nah, and that's business days, so it's like Monday through Friday, nothing on Saturdays. So I think they had shipped it on. I had ordered it on a Monday. They had shipped it the next Monday, and then it was here on Thursday. Yeah, I think so. I think that's how it went. So it was like 2 weeks. You know what I mean? You
Okay.
can wait that
Okay, that's
long.
not too bad. Yeah. I gotta get that. I'm gonna get that Sauvage Elixir. And I've been seeing it on what's the one channel you turned me on to Reddit. I've been seeing it on there, man, but
Hmm.
when I'm watching it, I mean, looking at the ads and stuff, I've only seen it on there twice at a price that I would buy. I seen it on there twice for like $100. They
Okay.
sell it down. They sell it up the street here in Macy's. It's like 160. If they have some kind of sale, you might can get it for like 140.
Hmm.
But the people that's on there selling it, I've seen them say they're not going to accept PayPal goods and services. They only want to do like friends and family. And so that kind of
Mm.
like, you
Well,
know,
you you can still do friends and or I'm sorry, you can still do goods and services. You just have to pay the difference. You have to pay that percentage. So you just, you know what I mean. If you wanted to do goods and services, you just be like, hey man, I'll pay that percentage,
okay,
which would be an extra maybe $5, but then that would cover your ass on that end. You know what I mean?
right.
Just in
So
case something did go wrong.
have you ever in your experiences with that Reddit, have you
Hmm.
ever purchased something on there that didn't turn out it didn't turn out to be what it was supposed to be?
No. Mm-mm. Every single time I bought something from Reddit,
Mhm.
it's you know, I vet them out. You know what I mean? I vet each seller out. I'll go talk to the mod. I'll send a message to the moderator. Be like, hey, is he legit? Does he have? And because like on the top, you know what I mean, by their name, they'll have like a
Mhm.
plus something. So if they have like a +5, a +6, that means that they've done 6 positive transactions that the other Reddit user that's bought from them or they sold to, confirm that. So you can make sure in that then in itself. But then I always do goods and services. I never ever do friends and family ever. That's just I never do it. I just if they don't want to do goods and services, then they ain't gonna get my money. And if they're down bad enough and they really want to sell it, they gonna accept goods and services. So
One other thing I wanted to hit on right quick. This is
mm-hmm.
I don't do too many like you know budget basement level like cheapies, man. I try to stay up on the legit designers. Like I said, now I'm just trying to basically stay in the niche game. But I had seen this on a channel and they were saying it was pretty good. It's like Sapple Intense. It's supposed to be. This is the only clone I got. This one
Okay.
and the other one that you gave me, that Valor, that's
Yeah.
that dupe of Savage Elixir. Hey man, I've been wearing this. This bad boy be hitting hard, man.
The
And it smells like I've sniffed both the atomizers. It smells pretty much the same as Elixir, especially when you spray it on you.
yeah.
I can smell a little bit of a difference when I'm smelling the two atomizers side by side. But when you
Mm-hmm.
spray it on you, that shit
Hit
is
different.
Elixir, man. I don't see any difference. It just don't it on clothes. It lasts about maybe 12 to 14 hours if you spray it on your
Mm-hmm.
clothes. On skin, not as it may be like if you just spray it on your skin, it might last about 5 hours on your skin, but it's good, man. I have, as a matter of fact, since you gave me that, I haven't even wore that 5 mil of elixir. I just been
Really?
wearing that. I just been wearing
Okay.
that what you gave me, man. But this one right here, this Sapple Intense. I was in Ross. Not this time I went to the movies, but the week before that, because the movie theater is right across the street from Ross.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
usually when I get ready to go to the movie theaters, if I seen one movie and I got like an hour wait for the other one, I'll just go over to Ross right quick and see what they
Okay.
got. And so they had these in there. And
Mm-hmm.
The Ross in my area, they don't do loose bottles. All of their stuff is
Boxed
boxed up.
up.
So I was like, "Yo, what's up, man? They trying to get it in like TJ Maxx. They trying to start selling some loose bottles." So I went over there to see what they had, and they had this. So I had the Fragnatica app, so I got on the app and looked to try to bust down the notes and stuff. But they were saying it was a alternative to Invictus Aqua. So
Okay.
I had Abercrombie and Fitch, First Instinct together,
Mm-hmm.
and it was supposed to be a dupe of the original Invictus,
Okay.
and it had that bubblegum accord, which a lot of people don't like that bubblegum accord. I enjoy it. I mean, even at 63, and I know that's something for a younger guy, but I like to
Mm-hmm.
smell that bubblegum accord. So that Abercrombie and Fitch First Instinct together only lasted for 4 hours. It smelled really good. So what I did with that one, I just was spraying in the room and on my bed sheets until I finally like used it up. It smelled good, so that's why I didn't want
Mm-hmm.
to give it to anybody. I'm like, I'm gonna
Yeah.
try to see what kind of use I could put this to. Right. So I just
Mm-hmm.
started spraying my sheets with it and using it for room freshener. So I got this one, and since it was a loose bottle, you could test it out. And
Yeah.
so the atomizer, it's okay. It's not the best atomizer. It puts out, a halfway decent amount of juice, but it's not like no pressurized, Sauvage or anything like that. It's okay. But it's got that bubblegum accord. And this one lasts. This is like 10 to 12 hours, man. So it's
Really?
kind of almost getting it's kind of so it smells like Invictus and it has the performance of Invictus.
Okay.
This one right here, for some reason, I don't know what it is. I was telling you it's got that garlic smell, garlic
Mm-hmm.
breath. When it first comes out, it's got garlic, it's got that garlic breath smell for about maybe like 20 seconds. Okay.
Okay. All
And it
right.
goes away. But when you spray this, there is absolutely no alcohol. You don't
Really?
smell any alcohol. It just comes right out, man. It smells legit from the first blast. So I like this one. And like I said, this one and the one you gave me is the only two dupes or clones that I have. And like I said, this was like $12 for 100 ml. So what I did with this, I took some out of here. As you can, if you look at it, you can see it's got a dent in it. But I
Yeah.
took some of it out of here and I put it in here. This is not the one. This is not this is that Cerezo bad. I got another one over here somewhere. I filled it all the way up. And that's why it has that dent in it. So
Okay.
I'm gonna put this up in the closet and see if I can get it to macerate. But yeah, as far as my fragrances, oh, and of course you know about this one, bro.
Yeah.
This and Oud Amazing are going back and forth as far as the best smelling fragrance that I have. But I
Yeah.
will say, on skin on me, it's kind of like a tie. But as far as spraying it in the air,
Mm-hmm.
I love spraying this one in the air. This
It
Oud
hit.
Tobacco. But what? But I was telling you about the atomizer with this one. When you spray it, you
Mm-hmm.
have to give it a deliberate push. If you just go halfway, it might just spritz or it might even squirt. So,
Okay.
oh man, I just put this in the air, bro. Oh, just for people that don't know about this one, this is the Montal Oud Tobacco. So this is one of the ones Curly Fragrance recommended. Now she's made 3 recommendations. All of her recommendations were fire. She recommended that Honey Oud, this, and Oud Amazing. And so far, everything that she said to get, and I got it, man. They turned out being like bangers. But I was kind of hesitant on this one because when she was recommended it to everybody, I said I'm gonna do some more reviews, and there was a lot of controversy because there were people saying, "Well, I don't know why they're calling that Oud tobacco. There ain't no tobacco in this." And so as soon as I sprayed it, man, I smelled the tobacco, and I was telling you, to me, it wasn't a normal tobacco. It's more like a sweet tobacco. But for me, it smells almost like some kind of very mild coconut or some kind of sweet like gourmet popcorn or something like that. Man, I love this right here. I love this. This might be the first fragrance that I might buy a backup bottle
Oh,
because
for
this
real.
man, I just sprayed it now and I'm fucking like in heaven, man. This shit, I don't even see. This is why I love these fragrances, man. You ain't gonna buy no designer joints that's gonna be hitting like this, man. God damn, I don't even see how could and you can get this on Fragrance Lord for $60, man.
Yeah.
I'm like, shit, man. Now on something like that, I would
Mm-hmm.
buy a full bottle versus
Yeah.
buying a decant. But
Mm-hmm.
this is so good, man. I mean, you even said, man, when you now I got a couple of compliments, but it was later on after I had wore it a couple of times. I never got the reaction that you got where you said soon as you like sprayed it the first time and you was
Yeah.
getting like some compliments. You say your sister it was like that. You said
Dude.
she went to work and you
Dude, immediately, dude. Walked in. She's like, "What is that?" She's like, "That smells really good. I'm gonna have to get it for my husband, David." And then she's like, "Oh, is that because she was like, oh, that it kind of smells unisex because there. I think if I can remember correctly, there's some what orange blossom in there too.
yeah, something like that.
So
I don't know all the notes offhand, but I think it is though.
it's like a little bit of it's like a little fresh, spicy, semi-sweet. But it does smell really good. It do smell really good, especially with the little sample you sent me.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh yeah, I
it's
sent you
fire.
another one too. Cause remember, I gave
Oh
you
yeah,
a refill. I gave you another 2 mil, man.
that's right. That's right. I still have yet to bust open the package that you had sent me. I had got here. It got here a couple of days ago on Wednesday,
Okay.
so I have to open
Uh,
that one still.
One of the things that I gotta learn how to do better with
Hmm.
flavors, I haven't really learned how to do it. Or you see these guys on the reviews, and they'll be like, okay, in the opening, you get some bright citrus, some pink pepper, and then in the mid, you start getting that neroli or that vetiver, and I can't smell all those notes, man. So what I'm trying to do now is I'm trying to train myself to recognize these different notes better. What I'm doing now, I'll just get the fragrance and I'll just go
Hmm.
on Fragnatica and look at all the notes. And then I'll spray it and I'll just try to see how many of those different notes
You can
that
pick
I can
up.
pick out. Yeah, but I just can't spray it and say it's got this. I can't do that, man.
You know,
I just know it smells good.
hmm sometimes it's like you can't really smell them all either, and sometimes you can, or sometimes you can smell, you can like pick apart. Oh, this has a little bit of this, or this has a little bit of this, but then the next time you spray it, you might not smell that at all. You might smell something else or completely different. So after a while, and then after when you smelled a lot of stuff that has like vetiver, tonka bean, so you kind of get familiar, like you know, a tonka bean made from Montel might be a different tonka bean made by
Yeah,
Chanel, because they might use a different oils, or they might use a different manufacturer, or they might use a different source. So they all kind of smell a little different, but the overall gist is kind of the same. So you kind of get used to that. But then sometimes you'll look at the notes and you're like, I don't get any of this at all. This reminds me of this. Or sometimes you can just only describe it in you can't really be, oh, I picked this or that, the other. It might remind you of a place. You know what I mean? To you, like I forget the word. There's a specific word, but it's like a memory of a
right.
place. Like you smell something, it reminds you of something like that.
This this is what I like a lot so much about this Bond number 9 Lafayette Street. Like you were
Mm-hmm.
saying, there's different types of tonka beans. Like in a lot of the other fragrance I have that has tonka bean in it, it just has like a sort of like a nutty like sweetness. But on this joint right here,
Mm-hmm.
it's got that chocolate, man. And anytime I smell chocolate, yeah, man, that's my thing right there, man. That comes from that original Terry Mugler, Amen. Now, I wanted to say something about that, going back to the fragrance journey.
Yeah.
Like I was telling you, I didn't know anything about formulations and reformulations. Like I was telling you, all those bottles that I had that broke, these were all original formulations from back in the 80s. And on some of them, I got the
Mm-hmm.
fragrances when they first came out. So it was definitely like the
OG.
Lagerfield was, I got that when that first came out. That Giacomo, I got that when that first came out.
Mhm.
Armani, Hugo Boss. Paul Sebastian may have been out for a while, but that Amen, like I say, oh, bro, the dude in Saudi Arabia, he was telling me, he said, bro, this just came out. He said, we got it. He said, Paris got it. The US ain't got it yet. So that was straight OG formulation. And just think,
Mhm.
man, if I still had those bottles, now it makes me mad that I broke them. Because those, man, you can't even get anything like that now.
I
Even
mean,
if you go
I
ahead,
mean,
go
at
ahead.
least you got to experience what they
Yeah.
actually truly like the true form was. The true
Mhm.
formulation was. I mean, it is a shame that they broke, but I mean, you know, I don't
And
even
even
think
that
most of
Hugo
us.
Boss,
Oh no, go
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 ahead,
ahead.
go ahead. That Hugo Boss original.
Mhm.
And when I wish I had a picture of it. I'm talking about it's the square bottle. It got the black cap, and it's got Boss on it. And then actually they renamed it. It used to just say Hugo Boss on the bottle. Oh, Boss, Hugo Boss. Now it says Boss number one. They changed the
Uh.
name to like number one. I don't know if that's supposed to mean it's the first bottle that they launched, because that was the very first one. And when I used to
Mhm.
smell that one, man, I mean I used to spray that one, man, and I used to get a lot of compliments. I just spray my fragrance and I put it on, and I like to wear the fragrance. For me, I like to smell myself, that
Mhm.
scent bubble, and I know I'm smelling good. But that Hugo Boss used to get a lot of compliments. And I'm gonna tell you what else I used to do with that Hugo Boss.
What's
This
up?
was back in my strip club day. When I would go to
Okay.
the real high end strip clubs that had the
Mhm.
nicest looking girls, I would get that Hugo Boss, bro, and I would spray the crotch of my jeans with it, man. So when I got my like lap dances, now check this out though, bro. So one
Uh huh.
time, this one dude this when I was working out in California. I had a project I was working out on in California for like about 3 months. And one
Mhm.
of these dudes had, because Vegas is right close to like San Diego. So this dude had went to Vegas and he won like 15 grand or something like that in Vegas. And he said, "Yo,
Mhm.
man, I'm gonna take everybody to the strip club this weekend." And he brought a limousine. So we was thinking it was gonna be all these dudes was gonna show up. It was me, him, and one other dude, man. and
Mm.
he rented a limousine, man. So we went down there. I remember I had that Hugo Boss, man. And I sprayed my crotch, and one of the dancers even came up to me and she said, "I want to thank you so much for coming in here smelling decent." He said, "Because some of these dudes would come in here and get lap dances, and their crotches be smelling like foul, man." So she even gave me a compliment, bro, for spraying my crotch with the Hugo Boss. So that's my only whacked out story I'm gonna give you, man. But I used to do that, man. I remember when I used to go to the clubs every
Mm-hmm.
weekend. I used to have prep, man. I used to like get in the shower, right? And I would take the clothes out. I used to put my stuff in the cleaners. Sometimes I would iron it, but I didn't
Mm-hmm.
like how you iron your stuff and then you put that on and then you find out that's not what you want to wear. And you got to go
Yeah.
iron something else. So I would just put
Oh,
all my
okay.
club gear in the cleaners. So I put this on, I don't like it. I could just reach in the closet and like get something else. But what I would do right before I get in the shower, whatever fragrance I would wear, I would take the clothes out, the jeans and the shirt, and just spray them down, man, and then put them back
Mm-hmm.
in the closet. Then when I would come out of the shower, I would put a little bit on me, and then put the clothes on. Another tip I got from another dude. I only did this one a few times,
Okay.
but I heard it. There was one of these dudes that had a grooming channel. This was before I got into fragrances. He was saying that when you get out of the shower and you dry off and everything, you completely dry. Take the fragrance and just spray over your naked body, and
Hmm.
then put your clothes on. And I used to do that. I didn't do it that much, but I did it a couple of times
Mm-hmm.
because if the fragrance is really beast mode, even when you put your clothes on, it's still gonna like project through your
Yeah.
clothes. So I
Mm-hmm.
did that, but that's mostly on like prepping for a more intimate time. I might spray some cologne all over my body or some shit like that. But I used to do that, man. And but I was big on that prepping my clothes, spraying my clothes down with fragrances before I went out to the club. Now, one fragrance there is that I don't even remember ever seeing,
Mm-hmm.
even back in my clubbing days, bro. And I don't understand how it's so popular. I never
Yeah.
knew anybody that had that youth, man. That
Oh,
was supposed
dude.
to be the coldest club. I don't know anybody, Darius, that
Uh,
ever had that youth, man.
maybe it was in maybe it was in the I couldn't tell you because I wasn't around then, but I couldn't imagine, man. You know what I mean? I couldn't imagine.
I
That
got a
stuff smells so
question, man.
bad. Okay.
I got a question for you. Or is it? Are there some people still watching this?
Yeah, there's
Okay,
right now I see there's two people. So it could be
okay,
I don't know
good.
who that is, but
Okay.
uh yeah.
So I was chopping it up with you, man, one day, and I was telling you that when I was going to the clubs, this is kind
Mhm.
of like a little mini story how I got into the like the upscale clubs.
Mhm.
When I was in the Air Force, I was bomb tech. So we also have what was called VIP support. And
Okay.
that's like our base was responsible for New Jersey and several other states. So if any kind of foreign dignitaries come to the
Mhm.
country and whatever hotels they're staying in, we have to sweep their hotel rooms to make sure nobody's like trying to kill them, because they come from a foreign country. And
Yeah.
so I used to do that with the State Department, and I did it a couple of times with the Secret Service. But there was an Army base across from us, and they had all that support. Then their base closed down when they started downsizing all the bases. Theirs is one of the ones that got closed, and so we
Mhm.
picked up all their support.
Okay.
We had to cover. We took on that responsibility. So we was always going to like New York downtown, doing these VIP supports and stuff, and it was kind of cool. You got to wear some like smooth gigs. You had to wear suits and stuff like that, so you
Okay.
got to get your like Miami Vice on.
Mhm.
Did you grow up with Miami Vice, man?
I don't think so. No. Cuz
Okay,
I was
it came
90
out in like.
when
Okay, go
when
ahead.
it, I was born in 96. So I didn't
Miami
really
Vice came out. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm gonna cut you off, man. Go ahead.
no, you're good, man. I was born in '96, so I really don't start remember. I don't really start. I don't
God
really
damn,
remember
bro.
anything
Okay.
up until I was like 11 years old.
Okay.
So everything else,
Miami Vice came out in around 80, about 84, something like
okay.
that. And it was Don Johnson, the dude that played in that show, something Nash Bridges or something like that. Okay. It was him, and it was a brother, man. Philip Michael Thomas. It was Sonny Crockett. and Rico Tubbs, man, and they was like the undercover, drug guys in Miami, man. So they used to wear the smoothest clothes and shit. They had the coldest rides, and so that one show probably took the whole clothes game to another level, man. Because all the dudes on the show used to be dressed real nice, and and Don Johnson and Tubbs used to always have wear the nice suits and shit. But anyway, so I don't know how I got into Miami. Oh, I was just asking you, did you see Miami Vice? Okay, but anyway, a lot of the supports that I used to do in New York, the VIP support, we would be staying in some really like cool like hotels. Because whatever hotels the people stayed in, we had to stay in that same hotel. And so a lot of the hotels would give out free passes to get in all the clubs downtown in New York. So like just say it costs $30 to get in the club. If you were staying in that hotel, they would give you a pass. You could get in for free. Plus, they might comp you like 2 drinks while you're there and anything else. So I was just to go to all the clubs. So it was me and this other dude. We were the only single dudes in the unit. Everybody else was married, so their wives wouldn't let them go to the clubs. So we'd be the 2 guys going to all the clubs. So this is when I started keeping the guy. I was telling you about the guy in the bathroom. In these upscale clubs, they always have a guy in the bathroom handing out the paper towels when you wash your hands. I guess you're supposed to tip them, but they would have a tray with about 5 or 6 fragrances on the tray. And let's just say you wanted to reapply or refresh your fragrance. If they had one that you was wearing, you could just like tip them like a couple of bucks, and then you could just grab one of the fragrances and spray it on, then walk out of the door. Because they used to have Hugo Boss, the ones that I had. They always had Hugo Boss in that tray. That original OG Hugo Boss was always in one of them trays. And that original OG Giorgio Armani, and surprisingly, they had Paul Sebastian. And I remember those 3 that was always in the tray. Paul Sebastian, the original Giorgio Armani, and the original Hugo Boss. And I was just wondering, since I haven't been to any clubs or anything like that in about 5 or 6 years, and I haven't been to any of these upscale clubs, shit like fucking 15, 20 years. And I was just wondering if those guys that are in the bathroom now that have those trays with the fragrances, do they have any niche level fragrances? And then would you see some Creed in that motherfucker?
I couldn't tell you, man, because I don't be going to clubs like that.
I was hoping. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I mean, I'd hope so. You know what I mean?
Next time you have another live stream. Next time you have another live stream when there's a lot more people on there, I'll probably come on and ask that question because I really want to know, because these clubs that I used to go to was where rich people went, because this is in a rich area of New York, downtown Manhattan. You have all these celebrities and people like that. And so I just imagine if those people still frequent those clubs and they're into niche fragrances now, I would like to think they got a couple of, the more popular niche fragrances would be, on the tray. But so I haven't been in a while, and I was just wondering if anybody that was watching that went to clubs maybe can answer that question. But next time you do another live stream, there's a lot of people, I'm gonna ask that question. I'm really interested to find out. But they used to definitely do it in the strip clubs. They used to have them in the strip clubs, man. It'd be like maybe like they might have 10 of them on the tray in the strip club, because dudes is getting lap dances. If they were really conscious about it, they would be trying to smell good like all the time, And so, yeah, man. So I'm just wondering if they got some niche frame, like maybe some Creed. I would think they might have Creed or Ventus, but I don't know. You know what? If they paying $400 for that, and they got it on there, and guys are spraying it all night, probably not, man. Because they probably go through a Creed or Ventus like real quick if they know. Yeah, if they know fragrance, because they probably saw shit. You got Creed just being him like spraying it up. So probably not. But I would think they might have like some Manceras or some Montage, because out of the niche fragrances, those. I mean, as far as the price, I would say they're entry level. But I don't know so much as far as the scent profile, because I mean, they got some shit that smells really good, man. So I wouldn't necessarily say it's entry level scent profile, but definitely entry level on the price. And man, I'm gonna be like Centrifugal Force, man. I'm gonna ride Mancera and Montage till I can't ride him no more, man. Because he's got like centrifugal force, he's got like 50 Montals and he's got like 50 Manceras. Even on his Profumum Romas, I know I'm talking about all these other guys. These are just some of the people that I watched. But even on Profumum Roma, man, I think he's got like something like 20 or 30 Profumum Romas, man. I'm like, damn, but he got some stuff, and I think he paid for all his stuff because I don't ever see him dropping no like affiliate links or anything like that. You know, so I think he pretty much paid for all this stuff, man. But this dude got like 500 something fragrances, man. And he doesn't have. I've never seen him feature a single fragrance that was a designer. I've never seen him with any designer fragrances. I think all his stuff
is like
probably
perfume aroma, amouage, all the
he's got like 30 something. He's got like 30 amouages too.
He's got some crazy stuff. Yeah.
And he's got stuff I've never even heard of. Like, you know, you was asking me, I know a couple of times, you said, yo, maybe to start a fragrance channel, but I got like 20 something fragrances, man. You know what I'm saying? And the ones that I got,
I mean, it doesn't. It don't matter, man. You can have 5, you can have 10. You love talking about it, man. So I would say, you know, you should you could hop on a you could create a channel. It could be like, you know, Nebu's fragrance journey or something, and start that. And hey, let me answer some of these comments, man.
Okay, go ahead, man.
Let me do that. Let me see here. I think, remember when we were talking about corals?
Yeah.
And so I was like, it's kind of smelled like piss a little bit. So Neko 3000, he said, but in a good way. And Checkmate, what's up, Checkmate? I don't think you're watching anymore, but if you are, what's going on, man? And then he said, those women love that smell crazy. I was walking around, could hear them saying, oh my God, I could still smell him. And that was back at the point when we were talking about the corals. And then he asked, what's a good choice for an old school freshie? You got any input on that? Because for me,
yeah, man, I can give them one, but all the ones that I know, the thing is, they've all been reformulated a trillion times since I bought them. But that original Giorgio Armani was a very nice citrus joint. I don't know what other notes were in it. I'd have to look it up on Fragnatica, but I know that has been reformulated many times. Since it was, and when I bought it in 1986 somewhere when I got in the Air Force, but I think it may have been out for a while. So I didn't get it when it first came out. But back then, if you got it a couple of years after the release, you know, it was still, you know, like the original formulation. The only other one, Freshies. Okay, hold up. I'm thinking about the old school shit. I'm talking about some Freshies. This right here, man. Well, I'm not gonna show this one, man. That's that Cuba. I'm gonna try to give them a little bit something a little better than that, man. This English Laundry Tahitian Waters, man. It's got it's very fresh, it's powdery. Like I say, you smell. It's supposed to have coconut in it. I don't get a lot of coconut. I get a very fresh, powdery, you know, some citrus in there, and there's some florals in there. But it's a very fresh, clean scent. It's not shower gel fresh, but it's a very fresh fragrance. And if you get lucky, maybe you can get a reject batch that's gonna last for 24 hours.
24 hours. So he asked. Oh,
go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead. You have another recommendation for him?
Now, out of my fragrances, man. Oh, the only other freshie, man. It depends on your skin and how it's gonna work for you. Molecule 01 on my skin, it smells kind of woody, like you were saying on your review, kind of like those chips that be in the hamster cage, but in a good way. You know, it don't have it don't smell no doo doo or nothing like that, man. It just smells like fresh, like hay. But it's also a little bit of earthiness in it. But on my skin, it smells really good. And if you got good chemistry, it's gonna pop on your skin. It's gonna last all day. And you know how it works, man. It's almost like a smart fragrance. You know, it'll die off for an hour or two, and you'll be thinking that it's gone. then it'll come back in there and like say, hey, I'm still here, I'm still working, I'm still doing my
Mm-hmm.
thing, So this is a good freshie, woody, earthy, and it's only ISO super, so it's not gonna be a whole bunch of notes you're gonna smell. I just smell wood and a little bit of slight like earthiness, man. That's all I get
Okay.
out of this. But but it's just like it just smells like you just smell kind of clean, man. It's just like a very
Yeah.
clean like scent profile. So freshies, I would recommend this one. But if it don't work on your skin and it's only lasting 4 hours, don't throw me no shade. I'm just saying, it depends on your body chem.
So
So
he
go
asked,
ahead, man.
he said he loves the O1 Great Centrail cedar smell. And so
Yeah.
so when you see this comment, this was at 11:09 a.m. and now it's 12:01. So I'm just letting you know it was it was back then in the past a little bit, but
Okay.
anyway, Brian, he said Halston's 112 is awesome. From 1976. You agree with that
Right,
one?
man. One of my homies, man. I never bought Halston. Now, when I first started getting into fragrances,
Mm-hmm.
there was a dude that stayed across the street from me. All right, he's kind of on the feminine side, and he used to wear Halston, but he got it when it first came. It's like, yo, man, I went up to Carson's and I got this Halston, and he sprayed
Mm-hmm.
it, man, because I used to hang out with GQ Dave, and GQ Dave stayed down the street from me, but he stayed right across the street from the dude named Marcus that I'm telling about. Sometimes, and he was a smooth dresser though. He was kind of feminine, but he was a smooth dresser, and so we'd
Mm-hmm.
always be chopping it up about different outfits and just shit like that. But he had that Halston, and he sprayed it. It did smell good. Now my friend Mike, he's my Air Force buddy that I hang
Mm-hmm.
out with. When I first started, rebuilding, all he had was he's got Halston. He's got
Okay.
Halston, and so I used to let me get a couple of shots, and then I start turning them on to my fragrances. This is the guy. Whenever he comes over and we hang out, he'll be like, "Yo, man." So I'm like, "What did you just get, man?" And I put a couple of shots in the air, and he used to just come over and try to get a couple of shots. But now I gave him a lot of decants because
Mm-hmm.
I just wasn't know he can have his own stuff. Then I even gave him that. I gave his wife a sample of that Oud Amazing because
Yeah.
I did another 2 mil. I was gonna give it to my sister, but she
Mm-hmm.
said she didn't want it. She just said, "Nah, I don't want to deal with that one." So I gave it to his wife. But
Okay.
she hasn't got back with me yet on if she likes it or not. His wife, she's big into like toiletries and grooming and stuff like that. I don't know how many uh, perfumes she has. Next time I see her, I'm going to ask her. But she seems like the kind of person that would have a lot of perfumes. And so I just went ahead and let her get a sample of that Ooh Amazing. But my sister's the only person so far that doesn't like it, man.
Okay.
Everybody else that spelled that, they said that thing was busting, man.
It was
And
popping. Yeah.
bro, I don't know. It's
Hmm?
got you did the review on it in 18 degrees. It's got a lot of sillage and a lot of projection.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if it's as potent as red tobacco, but all I know, man, it lasts a long time and it just lingers in the air. So what's your take on that? Where do you put that one, man? Comparing it to the performance of red tobacco?
On which one? The honey.
Ooh,
The
amazing, ooh, amazing.
you know what? They're really
That
close. They're close. Cause
yeah,
Oud Amazing. Now to me, I feel like Oud Amazing doesn't. It's not as loud. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
It's not as loud as red tobacco, but it does stick around a long time. Like it does push a little bit, but then it stays moderate for hours. Forever. Just like with red tobacco, where it's like super, super, super loud for the first couple hours and then it dies down. But then red tobacco will on clothes. If we're talking skin, uh, it's, I want to say they're almost about the same, man. On skin, on clothes, I will say probably red tobacco would take that one. Uh,
okay.
but then again,
It's pretty.
it depends on how much you spray and the fabric and if it's absorbent enough, if it's cotton, you know what I mean.
I wore that one the other day. It was amazing because, like I said, here in Georgia, we're starting to have days in the 80s. So I actually
Mm-hmm.
took all my cold weather stuff and I just put it all up in the closet and I started breaking out all my. I just took all this stuff out for the live stream. I didn't know if you was going to ask me anything about the fragrances I had, but
Mm-hmm.
it got down to 60. The high one day was 60 in the 60s. I said, okay, I'm gonna go ahead. I'll be looking for excuses to wear that oud tobacco and that oud
Yeah.
maize, and I'll be looking for excuses. I'm like, okay, it's gonna be in the 60s today. So I broke out that oud maize,
Mm-hmm.
bro. I did about 5 sprays because I went to the movie theater.
Yeah.
But I left at like 6 in the morning. I went to have breakfast, and then I have a girl I know. She stays down by the movie theater. I go over there and chill with her, and then
Mm-hmm.
go to the movie theater. But dude, I put it on at 5 in the morning. The movie was like 12 or something like that.
Yeah.
It was still busting, man, like hard, man. You know,
Okay.
like I had just sprayed it on. I'm like, dang, does this
Mm-hmm.
thing ever even late in the evening, bro? Like about we're talking like I got back about 9 in the evening, so that's like five. That's like 16 hours, bro.
Mm-hmm.
This thing was still busting, man. That's when I started thinking, well, is this as strong as red tobacco? Because man, it was smelling good. That deep
Yeah.
dry down on me, the dry
Mm-hmm.
down on me. I get that ooh. I still get a little bit of that fig and those grapes, man. That's mostly what
Okay.
I smell. And the dry down, it still has
Mm-hmm.
so it's oody and kind of fruity.
Mm-hmm.
And that joint is fire, man. That's another one of the curly fragrances recommendations right there.
Yeah.
That's just a winner right there, man. I really love it. So you got anything, man? I've been talking, man.
No, no,
I'm
you're
fucking
good.
trying to turn this shit in like it's my live stream and shit.
Hey, dude, nah, hold on. Let's talk about this. So, this for everybody who didn't watch the beginning, this is like a new series to where, like, I want to give, like it's your turn today. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get a chance to speak and talk about, the fragrances or just whatever. Like, I want to make people feel like they're also included. Like they also have a voice because, um, like you and there's a lot of people I've talked to that do watch my channel that have a lot of good knowledge, information. They have a different perspective on
Oh, yeah.
things. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, don't even worry about it. I think what we're gonna do though is I think let's get through these comments, and then I think we're gonna cut it there because
Okay, go ahead.
I'm really
Okay.
hungry. I ain't gonna lie. I'm really
Yeah,
hungry.
I haven't eaten anything today, man. Nothing.
So we'll get through these comments real quick, and then we'll end it. But then you're gonna stay. I'm gonna end the broadcast. But then you'll stay. We'll talk a little bit, and then we'll go. So
Okay.
I think let's see here. Let's see. Brian Eldridge. He said Austin. Okay, so we just answered that one. Neckel 3000. He said I have a newer bottle of 112. It's nothing like the bottle I wore in 1985 as a teen. Yeah, I'm sure because like you were saying, Nebu, they've been reformulated over the years. And you are a good example of that because back in the day in your time, you know what I'm saying. You got to experience the OG batch of the fragrance. So, Neckel 3000. He said still good, but I think the oak moss is synthetic. Yes, the oak moss is synthetic. And also, Nebu, I sent you a sample of Mousse Illuminé by Rogue Perfumery that has real oak moss in it. So the oak moss in that
Okay.
one is, dude, that one is
Okay.
so good,
Okay.
bro. Um, Brian Eldridge says Houston 1-2. Nichols says he found a bottle of Obsession from 1986. They wanted $200 for it.
I used to
Damn,
have
Nebu.
that one. That was one of the ones I had. I forgot. That was one of the ones I had obsession, man.
You could have got
Yep.
$200 for it, bro. And
That's what
he
I'm
said
saying, man.
he said he bought a $12 bottle of classic match cologne. He said, "I'll take the clone. It's insanely close to 90% to OG. I'll take his word for that." And then Julio says 90 body parts for Metal Rain. No way, Jose. And that's when we're talking about the price of,
Yeah.
you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? You
Sensible.
remember, yeah.
Yeah.
And then Brian said, he said it's just short-term memory slang term having a brain fart, and that's when we're talking about you're talking
Okay.
about your brain thing. So
Yeah.
Brian says Pericardine is a classic that smells great.
I didn't
Uh,
have that one. One of my homies had that one.
did he?
Pierre, I didn't have that.
Smell good?
Yeah.
You
It
remember?
smelled pretty decent. Yeah.
Okay.
It smelled pretty decent. That was one back in then. Anything that
Hmm.
they had out back then, they had all the testers, and you could just spray away, man. You know,
Okay.
everything that they sold in the store, they had a tester for
Okay. Okay. Nowadays, it's like you go in there, you see something behind the counter,
it.
but they
Right.
don't have a tester, you know. So you're like, did you ask? And they're like, oh, we don't want to bust open the bottle or the box, you know.
Yeah, man.
So
Yeah, they
Julio
used to have
says,
testers.
this is when we're talking about Naxos, right? So Julio says, my G, Naxos is a mandatory masterpiece. I put that on everything I love. So he puts that on his kids, you know what I'm saying? If he got kids, he put that
Oh
on his
man.
mama. Okay.
Yeah.
So Brian says, he
Oh
said, enjoy
man.
the chat. Y'all have a great day. So he's probably gone. Thank you so much, Brian. Uh, And then Neko 3000, he says on Amazon, you could buy small bottles of individual fragrance oils. I was actually looking on Etsy for some birch tar, just regular birch tar, because I think that would smell really good. I don't know. I mean, and then maybe you could get into making your own that way. I assume. Ellie Wonder says much love from the Netherlands. What's going on? We are we're in the States, so I don't know what the time difference is in the Netherlands, but I'm pretty sure it's what, like 8, 9 hour difference, maybe. I don't
I
know.
think it's like 8 hours, something like that. At
Is it
least eight. At least 8.
okay? And apparently she loves churros. So
Okay.
what? You know what? Hold on. I activated Siri on my MacBook. Okay, hold on. All right, Siri's gone now. What's up, Brian? Ryan? What's up, Brian? He's like, this is amazing. Yeah, man, you were the originator of this. You put that idea in my head, and I am making this into fruition. Actually, Brian and I were supposed to do this on Friday, but I had a lot of things going on. The times just didn't work out. So next it will be Brian, and yeah, it will be Brian next time, and Nebu, you could join in too. But yeah, this. Thank you so much, Brian. This is dope. Brian says unprecedented. Of course, you know we got the main man Nebu in here. You know, and then
Yeah, I was
Brian
gonna
says,
say, man, I don't ever think I've ever seen. Wait, wait.
oh, uh, he said he just jumped on. He didn't know I was doing this. Yeah, man. This is kind of like a last minute. This was like a last minute thing. You know, we Nebu and I put this together last minute. And what were you saying, Nebu? I'm sorry, I cut you off.
I was gonna say, I don't think I've ever seen any of these other channels, at least the fragrance channels, doing like subscriber appreciation, where they bring their subscriber on a live stream and let them
Hmm.
talk and get their shit off. Man, I don't think I've ever seen this. There might be some original, like you know, you see, you got an edge, man. You do some things that's original, like this. Then this thing where you do all these reviews out in the open and all these different, you
Hmm.
know, different scenes and shit like that. Ain't nobody, I haven't seen anybody doing that. So you got in and you got your own little niche thing that you're
Hmm.
doing that nobody else is doing. Man. So if I was to, with only 20 bottles, man, I gotta come with some really original shit. Yeah, for somebody like Rock with my 10, I have to figure out some type of angle like you did, some shit I could do that nobody else is doing, man. But this is the way you be doing the videos all outside, different environments, especially that one you did, that first joint you did at work, man, where
Uh,
you reviewed the fragrance and you just got up and walked away like, man, I gotta go. I got shit to do, man. I gotta get back to work. That was a nice one right there, man. So I like some of the little environments you do the videos in.
So you want to know
Yeah,
the
man.
backstory with that? So the backstory with that
Yeah.
one was so at my job, right? Like we have this warehouse and on days there's this guy, he's the parts guy. I ain't gonna say his name. Okay, but he's a real stickler. Right? He
Right.
don't like nobody going in that warehouse because he thinks it's his warehouse. It's not his warehouse,
Right.
okay? Like we have to go
Right.
in there and get parts and tires or you know, we if there's
Yeah.
a part on a school bus or something that doesn't work, we'll go to the warehouse to pull apart from a bus that we had commissioned beyond economical repair, right? So there's a whole bunch of stuff in there, but I just thought it would be cool to shoot a video in there because of all the pallets and the different shelves, and it's kind of dark and gloomy in there a little bit. But yeah, I pretty much on my lunch break, I snuck in there. I asked to borrow the keys to the warehouse. I snuck in there. I did that video and I closed it up. That video took me like 15 minutes to film. Boom, boom. I was done with it, and I was like, at the beginning of that video, I was gonna be like, shh, don't tell, his name.
Right.
But I was like, whatever. But I think you got anything else you wanna say
I just
before we
wanted to
wrap
say,
up?
yeah, I just wanted to say, man, now that I did the live stream, I feel real good about it. I feel real happy. I've always
Uh oh, I think we might have lost him again. Hmm. Maybe his thing is froze, or maybe I'm froze. I don't know, guys. Uh-oh. Hold on. Let me. He's recording on his phone. Let's see here. Um, Guys, this is weird. He's froze. He's froze. We gotta unthaw. We gotta unthaw him. Hmm. Maybe his phone died, guys. Look. All right. I think what he was gonna say is that he felt really comfortable coming on live. Guys, on I've talked to him on in person. He wanted to start his own channel, but he said he only had like 20 fragrances. Um and I said, "You know what, man? That's totally fine. You can start a channel and stuff." So I'm sure he was going to say, "Thank you, this, that, the other." He feels comfortable being on screen now. Um he froze up. I don't know if he's going to come back. Uh I'm gonna just say this. Thank you everybody so much for watching. I appreciate all the comments and stuff like that. Go show my boy Nebu some love. He's the one. He's been sending me a lot of samples, along with like Brian. He sent Brian Ryan. He sent me a lot of samples, and Shiva Vareen. He sent me a lot of samples too. But I just thought I'd put this together real quick, so so he can come on here and just talk about things that fragrances, and we got into other subjects as well. So if Brian, if you're still watching this, I think you're gonna be next. We're obviously gonna uh, come up with a date and a time for you, and then anybody else like Julio. I know Julio. We're gonna hop on. We're gonna hop on and do one of these two at some point in time. But I just thought that this was a great idea to do because you guys have a lot of great information. You guys have different perspectives on fragrances and just things like that. So I just thought I'd give everybody a voice and show appreciation to everybody who be supporting this channel. So actually, I think he's back now. So we're gonna add him to the stream. He's gonna say what he's got to say, and then yeah, we're gonna get off. So. Uh, all right, Nebu, you disappeared there for a second, but
I
go
had to take
ahead
a
and
bathroom break, man.
oh, you had to take a bathroom break. Yeah, go ahead and
Yeah.
say and
Yeah.
close up, and
I just
yeah,
want to
then we'll.
say, yeah, I'm not I've done, I told you I produced videos for the Air Force and stuff
Hmm.
like that. So I've mostly been a behind the scenes type of guy. I'm not a type of person that likes to be in front of the camera, and I ain't no ugly dude or nothing like that. I also know I'm just not I just try to stay away from that kind of attention. But now that
Hmm.
I've done it, I feel real good about it. And I'm happy. I'm actually glad we did it. I
Yeah.
know we had some issues at first. Like I said, I didn't know that the time zone changed, and so I was an hour behind. and I had to scramble. So I had a whole bunch of more prep stuff that I was gonna do, like in that
Mm-hmm.
hour that I thought I had in my pocket to like
Mm-hmm.
prepare. I just kind of like threw all this together real quick, kind of hasty. Like I said, I'm kind of a punctual person. I don't like to show up late for anything. So I was really mad at myself when I was like, "Fuck, I supposed to, we supposed to be rolling, man. I'm up here tripping. I'm all behind." But yeah, it
Nah.
turned out to be a pretty decent live stream, and I'm really glad we did it, man. Really.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Nebu, man, joining on. You'll be back soon. I know. Hop on whenever. Uh,
Okay.
and I think we're gonna close up there. Thank you, everybody, so much for watching. Like again, thank you so much, Nebu. It was a pleasure having you on. And
Thanks
stay.
everybody for watching.
Yeah, yeah, man. Stay in the studio. Don't leave yet. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, guys. I'll
Okay.
catch you guys later. And I'm about to end the broadcast, so you stay in the studio real quick. All right, guys. Ending it now.